In the meantime, let's appreciate the sun blessing us with its beauty today. Hello everyone, and welcome again to yet another episode of Don't Forget the Fucking Onions. Whee! So today we are making brown sugar bourbon pork chops, and yes, you guessed it, it is HelloFresh. As per usual, wash and dry your produce. First, you're going to take all your potatoes and you're going to cut them. It says cut them into 1/2 inch pieces. I'm not about to measure potatoes, so I'm just going to cut them to what looks right to me. Either way, they're going to get mashed, so I don't understand the point of this. Also, optional, if you want to peel the potatoes and then cut them up, totally up to you. I don't mind the skin on the potatoes, so I'm just going to lean with it, rock with it, and cut it up. Tip: the smaller you cut shit when you're gonna boil it, the sooner it cooks, because there is also more surface area for the water to attack. You put the potatoes on a pot with salt and water. You're gonna just let that boil and cook until like it's soft. You can check that it's soft by taking a fork and then stabbing one of them, and if it goes through smoothly, congrats. She is foreplayed and she is ready to get smashed. But God, what we are going to now do is go on to cut our Brussels sprouts. So you're just gonna half these, just cut them in half, and those are gonna cook in the oven. So the next step will be to preheat your oven to, what is it? 425 degrees. Beep, beep. Once you've cut your Brussels sprouts in halves, the long way, you are going to throw them on a baking sheet, and then you are going to drizzle with, is it olive oil? Yes, olive oil, salt, and pepper. So you're just gonna plop them all together and do a little zoom, zoom, zoom with the olive oil, and then zoom, zoom, zoom with salt and pepper. Okay, the oven is telling me it's ready, so we're going to take our lovelies and pop them in the oven. Bye, my children. I love you dearly. And then we set the timer for 20 to 25 minutes. Up to you. And now you take your apple, you cut it in half, and then you core it. And now you're going to cut it into, it says yet again, 1/2 inch pieces. I'm not about to measure an apple, so we are just cutting little cubes. Definitely one of my favorite ingredients that I get on almost all my recipes that I get from HelloFresh are, what the fuck are these? Scallions. Awesome. I love them. So what you're going to do, you're going to take the scallions and you're going to trim. Whoop. I'm not going to trim the top, baby. And then you're going to separate the whites, so the whiter area of the scallions, from the rust green area. So they're a little bit dark, but I'm gonna, once again, lean with it, rock with it. Your potatoes by this point should be done. So what you are going to do is you're going to set aside about 1/2 cup of the potato water. I haven't read into the recipe yet, so but I'm assuming that will make sense later on. And then you turn off the heat. You drain them. I'm gonna use my handy dandy drainer, which for those of you who don't know, it's this shit that nobody uses ever, unless you make pastas often. Then you transfer the potatoes back into the pot. I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of butter, the greens of the scallions, And then a splash of the potato liquid. Weird, but okay. Sour cream. So here's our little thing of sour cream. And then obviously salt and pepper. I did far too much pepper. But we're not, oh my god. We're not going to talk about it. And we're also not going to talk about my deodorant in the background. And then you just go on and smash. I don't have an appropriate potato masher, so I'm going to use this shit. Now, I'm just going to taste this to see how it goes. This shit right here, stupid. If there's anything that you learn from this video, let it be these motherfucking potatoes. We are going to take our pork chops. I'm just going to pat them dry. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to take brown sugar, wherever the fuck that is. Where the fuck is that? We're meal prepping. We are going to season both all over with the bourbon, brown sugar bourbon seasoning.
Rock-a-bye, baby, so make a sound.
This is the meat. I did wash it. Dry it with paper towels. And we're going to season it with the bourbon, brown sugar, blah, 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 spice. In order to make that better for me, I am going to do that in a separate bowl. And then you just kind of move it around. Make sure it's evenly coated with the shits. So now we are going to move on to our lovely pan here. You're going to cook it there in medium heat. I'm going to say medium heat until it's cooked through and through, which is about like 5 minutes on each side. Your meat is obviously cooked by this point. So what you're going to do is that you're going to just take it out of the pan and set it aside. I'm just gonna have a little taste if you don't mind me. What the fuck? That was really intense. Now that you've wiped your pan, what you're gonna do now is that you're gonna put the other tablespoon of butter into the pan. Boom. Drizzle it with olive oil. Where the fuck that at? Drizzle, baby, drizzle. Man. Keep in mind you're having this at medium heat. Put it on high. Put it on high. And then you are going to add the apples. You're going to add the scallion whites on there. Boom. And then you're going to add salt and pepper. You put the butter, you put the oil, you put salt, you put pepper, you put the fucking apples, you put the whites of the scallions. And you're basically just going to let it cook and stir it around until golden. So I will return with information about what that looks like. They're a little bit golden, and we are ready to now put in the stock concentrate. So it's this shit. You're gonna put about half a cup of water. Bada bing, bada bong. Period. Go off, sis. Half a teaspoon of sugar. And then you're gonna cook that sauce until it is thick. Nom 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 nom. Delicioso. Okay, and this is the final product. As you can see, we got the nasty Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes underneath, the pork chops on top, and the applesauce situation on top of that too. For the sake of the video, I am going to take a bite of the meat with the apple shits and mashed potato. We're not touching Brussels sprouts. It really is amazing. I'm gonna go clean up, but thank you once again for joining me for Don't Forget the Fucking Onions. It has been truly a pleasure to cook some delicious ass shit with you.